right, welcome everyone to Town Hall. We're going to get the go-ahead from Richard. All right, we got the go-ahead, so welcome everyone. Those who are in-house and those who are online, welcome to our Town Hall. We're glad that you are here, and we have updates from about 5 or 6 areas that you're going to hear this morning. And to give you a time frame for those who like to see the kind of what way we're going, we got about 5 or 6 different presentations. And we're going to start off with a recap of summer activities. So I invite you to kind of take a deep breath, relax, and enjoy the life of the church from this summer.
Like this, everybody come on. Clap your hands like this, everybody come on. I can do all things through him who gives me strength, through him who gives me strength. I can do all things, I can do all things through him who gives me strength, through him who gives me strength. I can do all things. Philippians 4:13. If you ask me what Jesus can do, he never fails. His promises are true. If you ask what Jesus helps me do, whatever I may face, I know he'll see me through. When I'm fearful, He makes me brave, gives me courage on the way when I'm tearful. He hears me pray, gives me hope in all I face. Won't matter if I win or lose, I know he will see me through. I can do all things through him who gives me strength, through him who gives me strength. I can do all things. I can do all things through him who gives me strength, through him who gives me strength. I can do all things. Philippians 4:13. If you ask me what Jesus can do, he never fails. His promises are true. If you ask what Jesus helps me do, whatever I may face, I know he'll see me through when I'm fearful. He makes me brave, gives me courage on the way when I'm tearful. He hears me pray, gives me hope in all I face. Won't matter if I win or lose, I know he will see me through. 'Cause I can do all things through him who gives me strength, through him who gives me strength. I can do all things. I can do all things through him who gives me strength, through him who gives me strength. I can do all things. Philippians 4:13.
Praise be to God, church. How about all of that? I want to give a special shout out to Matthew Wolf, who helped us assemble all of those pictures and videos. So thank you, Matthew. And what a joy to have such a great summer. Again, praise be to God. To continue our summer recap, we have some information about our Serenity Walk, which has been a passion ministry this summer, led by Sherry Siebel-Liggis. So Sherry's going to come up and say a little more.
Good morning. I know some of you have heard from me before. On the 19th, during the sermon, I gave an overview of what this walk means to me and why the heck I did it. So if you want to hear more about it, July 19th sermon. At any rate, what I wanted to do today was just do a recap of this summer, starting in April, which I'll count as summer. I decided to take on renovating the back walk that is in the northeast corner of our parking lot in the woods. And after, let's see, one landscaper, 25 tons of gravel, 28 yards of mulch, 14 volunteers, one reticent husband who always backs me up on my many projects, 5 magnificently made wood posts by Ann Henkelman, one Eagle Scout and his team who made benches and so many things for us, 2 generous gifters who've got us halfway through our 5-year plan, 5 new plants, many prayers, and over 50 plus painted rocks that will go along the path. I was going to be happy with 10. We have abundance. We have a Serenity Walk that will be rededicated next Sunday after church. and rededicated because I'm assuming in 2013 there was some kind of dedication. And so come on down, you'll get some trail mix, you'll get to walk the path with your painted rock, put it off to the side wherever is meaningful for you. To keep this whole path alive, we will have nature-focused programs, spiritual programs, meditation, and something called forest bathing kind of programs. No, you're not going to be getting naked and touching trees and that kind of thing. We'll have more rock painting, but more limited, and hopefully some small group worship since there's four large benches out there. We welcome the community. We have people coming all the time walking their dogs, and the kids in the abutting neighborhood play hide and seek in there. I was there on Saturday, and that's what they were doing. We are going to be creating, my hope is, a card, a pew handout that's similar to the Stephen Ministry information. This is something when people come to the church, they can read about the Serenity Walk. We'll have something in the electronic bulletin board out there and a couple of directional signs. I am looking for 2 more nature-focused people to join me in the next few years to maintain the walk. Nothing major other than litter control and bramble control and that kind of thing. So if you're interested, I need 2 more people to join me on my side. Do I need to say anything more? I'm trying to figure out. I think that's it. Thank you for all your interest in this, and I really hope to see your feet on the path and down by the walk. You can walk down there or you can drive down there. But we'd love to see you next week. Thank you.
Got to make sure we're following the slides. My name is Paula Curtis. I'm the co-chair of Leadership Council, and I'm giving the financial update. So let's start off with some positive news. Our expenses are down this year from last year over $13,000. So that is wonderful news. The not so great news is, as you know, because you're all consumers, everything has gone up. The price of utilities have gone up. The price of insurance has gone up. The price of tuning the instruments has gone up. So that's not the great news. But the expenses are down from last year, and even based upon the projected budget this year, our expenses are down $5,000. The not so good news is it's summer and people are taking off time and not pledging as they typically do. There is time we have through the end of December for that to catch up, but we are currently at a deficit of $27,438.58. So that's not the great news. But ending on a positive note, we still have time to turn that around. It's August, start of the school year, start of new things. We have till December. So there's an opportunity if you're not where you want to be with your pledge, or you want to pledge additional, every little bit helps. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is John Borland, and I, along with Dean Wilmer, serve as the co-chair to the trustees. And I just want to take a little minute and talk about what it is that the trustees do and give a little bit of an update. The trustees, we work in coordination with Reverend Abby, the Finance Committee, AV Ministry, Food Pantry, along with the congregation, and we also oversee some of the passion ministries, such as the Serenity Walk. We are tasked with upkeep and improvement of the church, our physical plant, the facilities, interior and exterior, the church grounds, the parsonage, and we also care for an aging facility. We manage, award, and monitor contracts for maintenance such as HVAC, snow plowing, alarms, landscaping, insurance. We review liabilities and deductibles for insurance. We coordinate facility usage when somebody is renting the hall or the fellowship hall downstairs. And we're challenged to be good stewards with any of the finances, and we try to achieve a lot with very little. One of the things that we are always trying to do is prepare the building for the future. We conduct monthly inspections. We make certain that no condition goes unnoticed or undocumented. If there is something that's in disrepair, then we assign somebody to repair that. We oversee projects. There's always projects going on here. Some of you may have noticed we got the carpets cleaned this week, which turned out fantastic. The trustees got together and we moved some of the furniture so that we could make that happen. Then we moved it back into place. We always have stuff like that happening. We have continuous minor electrical and plumbing things that we take care of, minor repairs. We oversee the weeding and mulching of the parking island planting beds. There's painting to be done. Last year or 2 years ago, Ann Henkelman coordinated the roof replacement, which was a huge project. Some things coming up, there are organ repairs to be done. There are HVAC projects that are coming up. We take care of ongoing maintenance. We call it the buffer rodeo, where we buff the floors downstairs. We have a lot of power equipment that we use to strip the old sealer and put new sealer on. We do that every year, trying to do it twice a year as manpower allows. With that being said, we also are making an appeal for membership. We currently have 3 open positions, and we're seeking any individual that would join the team for the care and upkeep of our facilities. As well as we have some major projects coming up, I did want to announce that we've been approached by a number of groups and individuals about the parking lot, and that's something that we have heard, and it's something that I'm excited to announce that we are awarding a contract, and we are going to begin the financing, and we're going to have a pretty aggressive and swift fundraising campaign, and we want to get that parking lot taken care of for you guys. It's not going to be a patch job like it was before. It's going to be a complete overhaul of the parking lot. We're going to mill down, I think we have a slide for it, but we are going to mill down the main lots, and then we're going to seal and coat the overflow lot. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions about that. The details are still kind of developing. It's happening right now that we're getting that thing awarded, and if there's any questions, please approach me later with it, and I'd be glad to talk about it. That's some of the main stuff that we do, and it's something that I'm very happy to take part of, and thank you.
Good morning. I'm Jean Gianfagna. I think most of you know who I am. I'm excited to be here today to talk with you about strategic planning. I think some of you have probably heard over the last few months, and maybe even before that, that the church is thinking that it needs to do some longer-term planning beyond just what we do on a monthly or regular basis. We all know that we're facing some pretty significant challenges. I mean, the financial challenge that Paula outlined is just one example. Most mainline churches, as you know, are facing a lot of challenges. And we're in year 1 of our next century. So it's time to take a step back and look at what we're doing, how we're doing it, and try to decide if this is the way forward, are we doing the right things. So a team of us have gotten together to start working on strategic planning, and I want to outline the steps of the process, what the outcome is going to be, what our goals are, and also want to let you know what role you're going to play, because there is a role for everyone in this room to play, as well as those of us who are not available. So the goals of this plan are to try to develop a roadmap for the next 3 to 5 years to help us prepare for the future. We're facing, as you know, quite a lot of challenges, but we also have a lot of strengths. We have great passion, we have great people, we have a lot of talent, we have a lot of heritage, and we have a great story to tell. And we need to do that as best we can. And so the whole idea is, what's the best way for us to do that? How can we go forward? Building on these strengths, and at the same time addressing some of the things that are making things tough for us as an entity. We want to capitalize on more opportunities to serve God. We know we have those opportunities, and we want to basically be a thriving and growing worship community in this next century. So that's what the goal of this is. So I want to walk you through the steps of strategic planning, just so you know how we're approaching this. First is to clarify the mission, the vision, and the values. The mission is why we exist. The vision is what success would look like in the future. And the values are how we behave when we're on our way there. We want to be sure that the mission sounds like our church, not just any church. It has to sound like Westlake United Methodist Church. So clarify our vision, basically why we're here. Then we also want to do a pretty thorough and honest assessment of where we actually are. Be honest and objective about the situation that we are in, our attendance trends, the engagement that we have in small groups, the number of volunteers who come to things, our financial health, our impact on the community, our leadership capacity, as well as our growth capacity. So one of the things we're trying to do through that is hear from as many voices as possible. We want to understand where God is leading us. We want to know where each of you think God is leading us. So we have already started to do some work in that area. We've done in-person interviews, either via Zoom, in person, or on the phone, with all of the leaders of the church as well as the staff of the church. And so we've compiled the results of that and asked a lot of people some very important questions, and people have been very frank and honest with us, but also encouraging about what they think our future will be. So we've got very good feedback from the entire staff and the lay leaders of the church. And then we're going to be talking to you. So there's going to be a member survey that we're going to be asking all of you to fill out. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that in the next part of this. We also, after we've done all this assessment and looked at the community and looked at our points of view on these things, we're going to try to find 3 to 5 strategic priorities. Things like discipleship, outreach, evangelism, preparing our next generation, our children and our youth, leadership development within the church, our impact within the community. We need to pick a few key areas, 3 to 5. And then we want to turn the priorities into outcomes by setting some specific goals. We want goals that are specific, time-bound, and measurable, where we actually have markers that we're trying to meet. For each of the goals that we will try to come up with, we will build an action plan. We will outline the tactics that we're going to implement over the next 3 to 5 years to try to make this plan a reality. So we'll look at the key initiatives, what we're going to actually do for each goal, who's responsible, who the owners are for each goal, the timeline over when this will happen, and then the resources needed to make each goal happen, the budget, the people, the tools. Then we're going to try and figure out the alignment of leadership and structure, make sure that our staff and our volunteers understand the plan, align different roles with the priorities. We may need to end or pause ministries that don't support the strategy, but that's down the road. That's what we'll talk about as we get further into this. We're going to try to communicate clearly and often. People don't want to support what they don't understand. So we want to be sure everyone understands what the plan is for the church going forward. We'll be sharing that vision from the pulpit. We're going to try to use simple language and be very clear so that there are no questions from anyone about what we're trying to do. We're going to also try and track our progress and adjust. We'll have regular check-ins over time, monthly, quarterly, annually, looking at our goals, looking at things like attendance, engagement, spiritual growth indicators, our impact on the community. And of course, throughout all of this, our goal is to keep it spiritual and not just strategic. This isn't for a corporation. This is for us as a worshiping congregation. So we want to pray through our decisions. We need your prayers and support as we work on this. We want to invite all of your input, which I'll talk about next. We want to stay grounded in Scripture, and we want to be flexible to where God may be leading us. We don't know that yet. That's part of what we're trying to find out. So the next step, after we've talked with the staff, we've talked with the lay leadership, is to talk with you. So starting on kickoff Sunday, Sunday, September 13th, we will have a survey that we would like each of you to complete. We will give you a link to that survey, and it's going to be relatively brief. It won't take you very long to fill it out, but we're going to be asking you some key questions that will help guide us and give us your input on where you think we should go. There'll be a QR code. You'll see that on the slide. You'll see that in the bulletin. We will send it out in the weekly email. We also will have printed copies of the survey for folks who can't access the survey online. And then in addition to that, we're going to have some small group discussions with some groups that we can clearly identify. For example, we're going to have a small group discussion with the youth group and talk with them about where they think we should be going and what our priorities should be. We're going to have a small group discussion with parents of young children and ask them, because they are the future of the congregation. And there may be some other groups that we talk with too, some other small groups, and you may be part of that. But in any case, I hope you'll be forthcoming and honest. I hope you'll take it seriously and that you'll participate in this, because we really want to hear what everyone thinks. We are the church, all of us, everyone here and everyone that's listening. So we need your point of view. So then after we've done all that and looked also at some statistics that we have available from like the United Methodist Church and other demographic data about what the community is actually like that we're trying to serve, we'll start working on the strategic plan, which will again have our mission, our vision and our values, our assessment of the reality, the strategic priorities and goals, our action plans, our timeline and ownership, and our metrics for success. This is not a small undertaking. This is not something that we can do in a month. This is not something we can probably do in 6 months. But our goal is to have it done after the first of the year, ideally in the first quarter. Again, I hope that you will all pray for us and you'll be supportive of this effort, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have about it. Thanks.
Does anybody have any questions? Not even one. Okay. Well, I'm Lisa Hallman. I'm the other co-chairperson of the Leadership Council. And if there are no questions, I had something I wanted to try and wrap it up here for y'all. At previous town halls and also in our leadership committee meetings, we frequently talk about what can we do to make people feel more welcome when they come to our church. So I have a few suggestions that I wanted to share. And I thought it was interesting that earlier Ellie talked to the kids about meeting new people. And she said, we can and should do that too as adults. But as adults, we may also be nervited. I hadn't heard that word before, but I like it. So as we have new people come into the church, whether it's on a Sunday service or whether it's at the car cruise or one of our community events, put yourself in a visitor's shoes and say, what do they want to think about us when they're leaving? And I just wanted to reinforce, hospitality is less about being naturally outgoing or an extrovert, and it's more about just being willing to take one small step towards someone else. Visitors, they may feel kind of vulnerable when they come here, and walking into a new church or a parking lot or an event, it can make them feel vulnerable. So a simple warm greeting can break through. Just say hello, give a smile, ask their name and say, I'm really glad to see you here. And then look for people that may be standing alone. If they're down in the coffee hour and they got all their bravery up and went downstairs, if you see somebody by themselves, just walk over and say, hey, I'm glad you're here, that you came to be with us today. So we have to step outside of our comfort zone a little bit, but it's not difficult. Like I said, it's a smile. And think beyond the first visit. If you see somebody that has come back, say, hey, I'm glad that you came back. I'm really glad that you're here with us. So being an inviting church doesn't mean that we all have to be extroverts or outgoing people. We just have to take one small step towards somebody and let them know that we're really glad they're here and that we hope they come back. So, any final comments from anybody? All right, then go have a wonderful Sunday. And the rocks are set up downstairs if anybody wants to go paint.